So, I'm sure that many of you can relate with this video. The survivors and thrivers, victims of abuse, you can relate. He was carrying the narcissist's weight. So, everything he was feeling, the guilt, the shame, the torture, and everything, that was not your weight. It had nothing to do with you completely. Now, you see, before I figured out what narcissism was and who a narcissist was, I spent very long periods. We're talking about years. I spent very many years feeling like I was walking around with dead weight. I was moving around trying to think, is there anything I can do? How can I fix this? How better can I behave? And I was trying to figure out a lot of things. And the more I tried to figure things out, is the more crazy it was, because at the end of the day, I used to feel like nothing is, there's nothing I can do. It was just working. We could finish one cycle, the next 2 days the cycle repeats. So it was just like I was in a roller coaster. And as a person, and this is especially in relationships, it can also be in the family as well. But as a person who is trying to do your best in a relationship, you're going to go the extra mile to save a situation. But you see, the thing is, as an empath, especially, the more work you put in to save a situation, to make it better, to change your ways, maybe to change behavior, maybe to whatever it is you're trying to fix, the more you try is the more you fail. That weight is very intense to an extent that you are going to feel you will feel guilty about the whole situation. The narcissist wants you to feel guilty. They want you to feel shame. They want you to feel low self-esteem. They want you to feel nervous. They want you to feel hateful. So there is this energy that they are continuously projecting towards you that has got nothing to do with you. Because you're dealing with a person who is moving in reverse. Okay? You're moving forward, they're going backwards. You're going left, they're going right. That's how it is. And every time you're moving forward, you feel like you need to go back and pick up somebody so you can move together. They're going right, you're going left. You always turn around, come and pick them up, let us go this way. And it's a cycle. You cannot, it just feels like nothing you're doing is working. Sometimes I sit down here post healing and, I think about those moments. I know I've healed from them, but, there are sometimes when you think about those things and the only thing in your mind is like, what were you doing at the time? Why didn't you see this? This pain that you have while you're with the narcissist, it is going to start manifesting into physical illness. Your body starts shutting down, brain fog, memory loss, body aches, something migraines, something stomach disorders. Your body starts shutting down because you are carrying a very dense energy. And because you don't know what the narcissist is doing, you don't know who they are even in the first place, you're finding a way how to deal with this energy, how to transmute this energy, how to deal with it. In some cases, you've even succeeded to transmute that energy, even at least some of it. But the more you re-engaged the situation, the energy was back. I spent about 3 or 4 years, and I had a very, very heavy chest. I had a very heavy chest pain. There was something that was holding onto me in the chest. So this is a pain. I didn't understand what was happening. I went to the doctors. There was nothing going on. They couldn't see anything. So I didn't even understand all these things they call trauma. I didn't know that a person can be traumatized to that extent whereby their body starts aching and they are starting to feel emotionally and physically sick. But something very magical happened on the last days. That was the time when I woke up, when I got my awakening. The moment I discovered that this entire being was a narcissist, there is a very big weight that was lifted off of my chest. I'd been dealing with this pain. Sometimes I would go to work and I would tell my mates, say, listen, guys, I don't know what is happening. There is this pain I used to have in the chest. The pain would never go away. It would go away for an hour or two, it would come back. And it was even worse in the last stages when I was in the devaluation and then eventually the discard. That is when even the pain was even worse than the beginning. I did not know how to deal with this pain. So the clarity came when, the veil was lifted. Eventually, until this moment, I'm very grateful to God and, my ancestors, the universe. I'm very grateful that this door was opened. The veil was lifted, and eventually I was able to understand that, this whole thing it had nothing to do with me. I was just simply dealing with the wrong person. That pain, I remember that day until this day. I do remember that pain immediately left my body. It just, all of a sudden, just disappeared out of my chest. I could feel that pain literally. That thing I was dealing with for 7 years, I felt that pain lifting off of my chest. And I should promise you, ladies and gentlemen, until this day, I have never felt that thing again. That was the last day I experienced that pain. It lifted off. It has never come back. And the reason why it lifted off is because I was going through this massive awakening. I was realizing that this entire experience was narcissistic abuse. Okay, so it was for me a very big shock. It was traumatizing, it was shocking, but at the same time, it was relieving because then eventually I got the relief. I was like, oh, finally, I get it. This was somebody else's energy I was carrying with. It was somebody else's weight. I was carrying somebody else's baggage. Because you see, one of the things you need to understand, chosen ones, about narcissists is that these individuals are evil. So they have got a lot of evil attachments onto them, and now they need a vehicle that is going to help them carry that weight for them. So it's the reason as to why you see when a narcissist traumatizes you, all of a sudden out of the blue, you just had a fight. Now you're seeing them. All of a sudden their mood has changed. They are feeling very nice. The next day is nice. They wake up with energy. They're cooking for all these best meals and what. They are smiling around a little bit. And then as soon as that moment has passed, they are going to re-traumatize you. So it has been a game of cat and mouse, And that thing has been going on for ages. All of a sudden, they are joyful. They are so happy. They are so energetic. They are so, they're all over the place just because they have done something to traumatize you. So they have been always finding a vehicle that will carry that weight for them because they have been dealing with this weight for ages. As far as I understand, it is going to be the weight that they're going to carry for the rest of their lives. But now they find victims who are going to carry the weight for them. You can take a look at these psychopaths, for example. A psychopath is a bloodthirsty individual. So until they don't beat somebody, when they beat up someone and, the person is hurting, maybe they did something to their body, whatever, they have bruised their body and everything, that's when you say a psychopath is going to be, they're going to feel like they have drawn a very, very huge chunk of energy out of you. Is why you see these people, they call them energy vampires because they feed off of your energy. So whatever you have hurting and suffering and trauma, that is what fuels them, So that's what we mean when we say this whole narcissism thing is spiritual. So it's an evil thing going on, okay? So the easier you understand these whole things, the better. But I want to validate you in this video, my chosen ones. I want to tell you that the weight you feel and the weight you've been carrying this whole time it had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with you. And the more you understand a narcissist is the more you're going to heal and you're going to start offloading that baggage. Because you see, it's like, for example, when you're traveling, you might figure out that, you're going to a certain destination and there is people who have already overloaded your suitcases with their own stuff. So now you're the one who's going to drag that whole suitcase on the whole journey. But when you realize that this case is too heavy, you try to open up this case a little bit. Now you're seeing all these things that don't belong to you. So you're now starting to remove all these things one by one. This is not mine, you remove it. That is not mine, remove. So you start unplugging and removing all these things from your suitcase. And eventually, whatever is left in the suitcase is what exactly belongs to you. So your suitcase is now easy to carry because it's lighter. The weight that you have been feeling this whole time, my chosen ones, it wasn't yours. The narcissist just used you for their own benefits. It was just about them. They just needed somebody who can help them to carry their emotional baggage. And you being an empath, who is also an emotional punching bag, kind of a sponge, you are the person who was usually absorbing that weight from these people. So that is how they was thriving off of your energy. Is why you hear many people talking about energy vampires. People have different names for these narcissists, but this whole thing is about energy. When you release this energy, ladies and gentlemen, it is usually going to be released. Of course, you need to wake up first of all. You need to see things for what they are, understand what it is, and so of course, then you can eventually take this journey to heal. Start healing. And of course, one of the methods of healing is educating yourself. So there is a lot of coaches online that talk about narcissism. There is a lot of people. The information is out there. When you're willing to learn and to get the information, you will find it because it's out there. Whether it's you're going to buy some books and read and learn about these things and stuff like that. There's different ways that you can educate yourself. But every time you get some piece of information, you're going to reflect back in that relationship. Then you will now start offloading. You say, okay, that wasn't my baggage I was carrying. You have been carrying a baggage for 20 years. You start removing that baggage and getting rid of it. And now the only baggage you have left is you. Now you have the chance to start, do your healing and you know which areas you need to fix and the things like that. Is why they say that most of the times narcissistic abuse will never let you see things. It's like life. Your life will completely turn upside down. You will never ever be able to have, your life will always change. Those are the guys who change you permanently, You will never see relationships the same. You will never see people the same. You will always understand how to listen to yourself, how to listen to your intuition, how to follow guidance from the universe, from God, from your ancestors. But these people, they are there, they exist. They are very energy draining. And the only thing they needed from you, they needed a vehicle that was going to help them to carry their evil weight for them. They could not carry that weight for themselves. So they always needed somewhere they could deposit that baggage. And the same thing also happens, for example, in the families. Is why you see a lot of times people talk about the scapegoat. So when you have a person in the family that is dysfunctional, narcissistic, or whatever, even evil sometimes, and members in the family have a person that is a scapegoat. So they always have a trash can. When a person has used up some stuff, they're going to throw. It's like where you're the one who has been holding all these evil energies. They've always been dumping all their energy onto you. A bad day has gone in their families, they're going to dump it onto you. Something happened at their work, they're going to dump it onto you. I remember even personally when I was in the dysfunction family system many years ago, I got accused of things I knew nothing about. I got accused of burning the house. There's a time the house caught fire. I was a very small kid at the time. Now, somebody else was responsible for that thing, but they found me as a scapegoat. They located me and tried to make sure that they put my name in the dirt, and they say that I was the one who burned down the house. So this whole thing started with a candle. Money, things like that. Money would get lost, and there was like, oh, that was the one that's the guy who stole the money, and things like that. So people would do things, and they would get away with them because there was a trash can in the family. So when you remove yourself from that environment and situation, your healing happens. So it's why normally I tell you guys that one of the fastest ways to heal when you've been dealing with abuse, you are going to have to remove yourself out of the situation. You cannot heal. There is no way, ladies and gentlemen. There is no way you'll ever be able to heal when you're still involved with the people that are intoxicating you. So you have to separate yourself and move on. It is one of the hardest things to do. I don't know anybody who has moved away from a narcissist and they said it was easy. It is very, very challenging. It is very soul draining because sometimes you're leaving people that you have known your entire life, this entire time. So you are leaving people behind. And there's nothing you can do because you either have to choose. You can choose staying and enduring the abuse, or you can choose to leave regardless of who you're leaving behind. That's what I did. Ladies and gentlemen, I can promise you my life has never been the same. But at the end of the day, all I'm trying to say, you're going to be able to offload the weight you have been carrying all this time that never belonged to you. That is how the healing of the empath starts. Let us know what you think about the video in the comment section below. You guys know I do love and appreciate the support. Please book a session, you mate, donate or support to my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Desmos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.